Hi, I'm Tracy, VE3TWM. Thank you for tuning in to Outdoors on the Air. Back in the mid-1990s, I had been fascinated by a QRP rig known as the QRP Plus, a product of Index Labs. The QRP Plus was well regarded back in its day for offering good performance and coverage of all HF bands from 160 through to 10 meters. A curious and totally unique touch applied to the QRP Plus was a single front leg to hold the front panel up at an angle for easier viewing, rather than a more traditional wire bail. Eventually, the developer of the QRP Plus, Bruce Franklin, Kilo 7 Delta Yankee Yankee, took his design of the QRP Plus over to SGC Inc. SGC was a company that manufactured HF radio equipment for more than 30 years. A US-based company, all of their products were designed and manufactured in the States. Their corporate focus was to design multi-mission radios and antenna couplers. SGC took pride in offering quality equipment that was rugged, reliable, and competitively priced. I think it's important to note that SGC sold into military, marine, relief, and commercial markets. You'll see how this focus contributed to the design elements of the SG-2020 as I go down the feature list. SGC referred to the SG-2020 as a professional, commercial-grade transceiver. As soon as you pick the unit up, you realize you are holding something substantial. While I certainly wouldn't try it, you get the impression that someone could drive a Jeep over it without crushing the tough metal shell. The buttons and knobs are rubberized, and the controls are solid to the touch. While wandering the aisles at the Dayton Hamvention earlier this year, I came across a well-maintained SGC SG-2020 transceiver. I was familiar with this rig after having seen ads for it in QST when it was a current product in the late 1990s. After having a nice chat with the gentleman selling the unit, we agreed on a mutually acceptable price, and the rig was mine. For the record, I paid $280 for the SG-2020. It came with a Shure hand mic, not the original CB-style microphone that shipped with the SG-2020. But once I felt the quality of the Shure mic, I had nothing to complain about. The original box was also part of the deal. Now let's run down the feature set of the SG-2020. The input voltage range requirement is 9 to 18 volts DC, giving plenty of versatility with power supply options. From a physical perspective, the rig measures 2.75 inches high by 6 inches wide by 7 inches long and weighs 4.4 pounds. The operational temperature range is minus 30 Celsius to plus 70 Celsius. The receiver is single conversion, with the only IF at 60 MHz. Due to the way SGC implemented this, the receiver has an IF rejection of 90 dB and spurious frequencies are virtually eliminated. You get 160 to 10 meter coverage in LSB, USB, and CW modes. Receive frequency range is 1.8 to 30 MHz, and 400 kHz to 1600 kHz can be added with a simple internal modification. There are 20 frequency memories, which are also used to change bands, as there is no band switch on the rig. Additionally, the 2020 features built-in AF DSP for bandwidth filtering. On later versions of the 2020, DSP noise reduction is implemented. There's also a noise blanker. Passband tuning is available, though this feature is really an IF shift control as opposed to the passband tuning controls found on many ICOM rigs. On the transmit side, the SG-2020 has 20 watts RF output on 160 meters, up to 12 meters, dropping to 12 watts on 10 meters. The RF output is variable down to 1 watt. SGC took care to ensure the transmitter was capable of clean, clear audio. They also claimed that the amplifier had a stress rating of 40 watts, so at its rated output of 20 watts, the PA section is not being stressed. VOGAD speech processing is built in, and it's a feature extolled by 2020 users. Full break-in operation in CW is supported. There's a built-in Mode B iambic keyer, adjustable from 5 to 60 words per minute. Not listed in the specifications are a few features that I think are notable. First up, the power cord is not fused. This is because SGC installed an internal self-recovering 5-amp fuse. This fuse will recover within a few seconds after the short in the radio has been removed. The next really cool feature is more of a design implementation. According to SGC, the SG-2020 is not readily damaged by a mismatch or high SWR. I couldn't find any documentation on this capability, but it sounds like RF rollback when high SWR is sensed, and that's just a great feature to have in a rig. The SGC 2020 is certainly a very rudimentary radio by today's standards, so the feature list is not long. As I've run down what I feel are the most relevant for my needs, let's now take a look at some of the quirks the SG 2020 possesses, and it's got a few. From a physical perspective, let's examine the pop-up front leg. You might be forgiven for thinking the rig could teeter a bit on that leg, and in fact you'd be somewhat correct. While this arrangement is mostly stable, if like me you tend to lean your hand on the radio while tuning, the rig will tip. They really should have used a wire bail. Speaking of stability, let's talk about frequency stability. SGC claims 3 ppm per 10 degrees Celsius, but they also specify the SG-2020 is equipped with a thermistor resistor circuit designed to stabilize the frequency. A warm-up time of 15 to 30 minutes is needed to achieve full stability. The unit is fully functional during this time, but a drift of plus or minus 200 Hz may be noticed. In my experience, the drift is certainly perceptible, though not so bad that you have to completely QSY mid-QSO. Next up, the lack of a band switch comes into play. While you can continuously tune from one band to the next, that of course would be very time-consuming and tedious. The alternate method is to assign one of the 20 memories for each band. The interesting thing about this arrangement is that there really isn't a VFO mode. Instead, think of the rig as always being in memory tune mode. You can't switch from VFO mode to memory mode. Instead, you move to a memory channel and tune from there. Once done on that band, switch to the channel on the next band you want to operate on and tune from there. Doing so means you have to press and hold the MEM button while turning the main tuning knob to get to the channel you are looking for. This takes some practice and manual dexterity. The finger coordination exercising doesn't end there, for there are multiple other functions that require pressing and holding one button while pressing other buttons to engage the desired setting. For a guy like me with larger digits, this can be a bit challenging. There is no attenuator, only an RF gain control. At this point, with several hundred QSOs under my belt with the SG-2020, I have not seen this omission to be an issue. Judicious use of the RF gain and bandwidth filtering make this a non-factor in most operating conditions. Early versions of the 2020 have an SO239 connector fitted to the rear of the chassis. This SO239 was mounted directly to the main circuit board, which made it somewhat fragile. Later versions of the rig had the SO239 at the end of a pigtail. Mine is set up this way, and while some do not consider this arrangement to be sturdy, I've had no issues with it. So there you have it, a rundown of the features and a few of the drawbacks of the rig. Now let's take a look at the SG-2020 in action.
Thank you, sir. Good luck. You are this at the X-4 Whiskey.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike, 259 Kentucky, and the county is Oscar Lima Delta.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike, copy well, OU 59 and Park Kilo 1949.
Copy the Kilo 1949. You are 5 and 7 into Victor Echo 0184.
Copy 0184. Thank you, Todd. Kilo Echo 88, Romeo Victor.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike.
Whiskey Mike station, go ahead.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike.
I copied Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike, QSL.
QSL, please copy 1 Bravo, Oscar November Sierra.
Okay, 1 Bravo, Oscar November Sierra, QSL.
QSL.
Okay, got you the book, 7-3.
Thank you, good luck.
Roger, your 1 Delta, Western Pennsylvania, 7-3. QRZ from Whiskey 3, Victor Papa Radio.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike.
Victor Echo 3.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike.
Tango Whiskey question mark.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike. Tango Whiskey Mike.
VE3 TWM. Thank you. We are 4 Alpha MDC. 4 Alpha Mike Delta Charlie. QSL.
QSL, please copy 1 Bravo, Ontario South, Oscar November Sierra.
QSL, you're 1 Bravo, Oscar November Sierra, 7-3, good luck.
7-3, good luck.
Victor Alpha 3, Queen
Victor Alpha 3, Queen
Victoria.
Victoria, please copy 5 and 8 in Ontario from Park VE 0251. Oh, please forgive me. Can I have my report?
5 and 7. Victor Alpha 3, Golf Hotel Bravo, Park to Park.
Victor Alpha 3, Golf Hotel. Victor Alpha 3, Golf Hotel Bravo. Please copy 5 and 8 from VE 0251. Copy the 5-8 VE 0389. Thanks so much for the contact. Have a great activation.
Roger. Activation as well,
7-3.
73. Victor Echo 3, Delta, Quebec.
Victor Echo 3, Delta, Quebec. Please copy 5 and 9 from VE 0251.
QSL on the 5-9 into your park, your 5-9, Hamilton, Ontario. Thanks for activating, 73. Have fun out there.
Hey, thanks so much for the contact. Really appreciate it. And 7-3. CQ Poda, Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike.
Whiskey Alpha 3, Radio Hotel Whiskey.
Whiskey Alpha 3 station, come back with your call.
Whiskey Alpha 3, Radio Hotel Whiskey.
Okay, Whiskey Alpha 3, Radio Hotel Whiskey. I've actually got a beautiful signal, 5-9 into VE 0266.
0266, okay, thank you very much. You're also 5-9 here into New Jersey.
Hey, thanks so much for the 5-9 into New Jersey. Really appreciate the contact. 7-3, have a wonderful weekend.
You too, be safe out there. November 3, Romeo Charlie Whiskey.
November 3, Romeo Charlie Whiskey, copy of 5-9 into VE 0266.
QSL, thank you. I also have you 59 into Maryland, over.
Hey, thanks so much for the 59 into Maryland. Have a wonderful weekend. Appreciate the contact. 7-3.
73, have a great weekend.
I've given you a list of both positives and negatives. So what do I think of the SG-2020? I like it, and I like it a lot. It's completely unique amongst portable HF rigs. This uniqueness gives it real character. It's fun to drive and delivers good performance while drawing relatively little power. Though SGC Corporation is long gone, and therefore factory service is no longer an option, the availability of circuit diagrams and older components make this a rig that can still be serviced by a skilled technician. The receiver performance is very good, and the transmitter provides a solid punch via its Vogad speech compression. Reasonably low current consumption means it will last a decent amount of time on smaller battery packs. The SG-2020's construction is for the most part rugged, and you won't be afraid to take this one into the field. While scarce on the used market, if you look around carefully, you may find one going for a decent price. After all, who wants a rig without a pan adapter these days? Actually, I do. My SG-2020 is a keeper. But what about you? What do you think about the SG-2020? Have you used one? And if yes, what did you think of it? Please leave your comments below and let me know if I've lost my mind or if you think this old relic of a bygone time is a gem. That's it for this time. Thank you for watching. Now it's your turn. Get out of the shack, get outdoors, and get on the air. 7-3 from Tracy, VE3, TWM.